So by the time this video goes up, Sonic and Shadow Generation should be out for the whole public. No early access for getting the digital deluxe and all that. This game will be out for the public. So then spoilers are fine at that point, okay? When the game comes out for public, that's it, baby. Alright? Spoilers are welcome. That's how I see it. So that's why I'm doing this. So, we're going to look through a bunch of more of the changes that are made to Sonic Generations Remastered compared to the original. The videos I am going to be using by Sonic Go over here will be linked in the description for you to see for yourselves. So, we have, of course, the birthday party. We've seen this 1,000 times. They updated it to where, of course, Sonic no longer shoves Amy away. Which, hold on, where is it? Come on, there we go. Look at this awkward scene where she's just trying to give him cupcakes. Because that was a needed change, I guess. There is another change when the Time Eater shows up here. As you will see. He shows up and he starts sucking everyone away. By the way, they added the new Chow there. There's more Chow in this version. This is because probably, again, of the Chow missions that you're going to have to do. So that's fine. That's a change I'm fine with. Are we moving along? See, look, more Chow. That's fine. That's fine. But here, Sonic says, hey, those are my friends. In the original, he says, not cool. It's a change that I don't think is necessary. Either one works, right? And that's most of the changes you're going to find in these cutscene dialogue changes. It's more or less changes that are done that's like, you didn't need to change that. The original worked just fine. Right here, this is a change, though, I do agree with. In, that the remaster does. This is a change I very much agree with. They actually acknowledge this is Green Hill Zone. Instead of the original where they're just like, oh, what's this place? It looks familiar. No, they're just like, hey, this is Green Hill. Why does it look different? Right? Tails mentioned South Island, you know. So this is a change I like. I completely agree with this change, as I said in my other video. I completely agree with this change of changing it to where they're like, I don't know this place, but it seems familiar. I like that they are making it like, no, I know this place. I know this place, but it's all white out. Why is that? So these are changes I agree with. I agree with this change. Like I said, I hate the Amy Rose changes they've made because, again, you're just retroactively trying to change your character, which, stop that. Okay, you want to show Amy's progression into a new character? Show us how she used to be, so then we can see the progressive change. So, again, those are changes I agree with, them making it so that way they know what these places are. And again, this is like another dialogue choice here where it's just like, that's crazy. You weren't kidding when you said that you never left. It's like, Tails in the original says something along the lines of, oh, you're back already? You know, like stuff like that. It's like, that's a change that doesn't need to be made, so I don't know why you made that It's like little dialogue changes here that I'm like, why? The original didn't mean anything. And of course, here's the chemical plant one, which we went over, where they're like, yep, this is definitely chemical plant. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it, that change. There's this... I don't know if there's any changes here, really, other than just the dialogue. You know, another change I do agree with, which is here in the new one, you actually see Classic Eggman. Where in the original, you don't. I never understood why they tried to hide Classic Eggman in the original, because you then just end up showing him anyway at the end. It's not a surprise who this is, right? It's not like meant to be a surprise that, oh, we're fighting Eggman. So I never understood why they never showed him. Them showing him here makes perfect sense. I completely agree with this change of Eggman just, you know, being shown here. That makes perfect sense. I completely agree with this change. Now this is a bit of a change. It's more just little tiny dialogue. Problem is, like, Sonic says, couldn't have done it better myself. But here he goes, there's two of me? You know? Right? And Little Tails here says, like, you know, oh, I figured it out. Here he says, that confirms it. It's just tiny little dialogue changes that, again, I think are pretty unnecessary and don't need to be done. you know, like, they just don't make sense to me, right? Like, why would you change that little bit? It didn't need to be changed. The original worked fine. But it's not as egregious as, like I said, changing Amy Rose completely. I do like this one. Without the time stones, little Sonic CD reference there. In the original, Sonic goes, but how'd this happen? Here he's like, oh, time travel without the time stones? Like, I like that. That I like. It makes the universe feel lived in. Like, ah, remember? We did that thing. I like that. Thank you, Ian. I see your influence already. It's awesome. So we move along here. Again, not too many big changes. I mean, other than the fact that they're like, hey, you're restoring space-time. And it's not a crappy poppin' like the original. Moving along. We're gonna move a bit here. Nothing too big and crazy here. There is some... Okay, here's the next big dialogue change here. Which, again, doesn't really... You know what? This dialogue change is a bit weird because the original line is a bit cringy. Right? Because in the original here, after Eggman, you know, whines and complains, you know, Sonic's like, oh, come on, man, I beat you every time. In the original, he says, like, no, seriously, we beat him every time. It's like it's our job or something. Which is a bit cringy, but this one, he's like, no, seriously, we beat him every time. Our scorecard's flawless. That's actually a bit better. I do like that one a bit better. But in this one, Tails is like, oh, maybe we can find the Time Eater and call it truce and all that. But this one, he's just like, how do we stop it, you know? It's another change that just isn't necessary. Another change here, by the way, is between the two Eggmans. When Eggman here explains how he found the Time Eater and all that, that is a bit of a change as well. It's a change, again, I do like, because he directly references Sonic Colors. In this one, he just says, after my latest setback. In this one, he straight up just says, after Sonic ruined my interstellar amusement park. Just a straight up like, yeah, this happened after Sonic Colors. So again, that's another change I like. I like the changes that bring the lore together. I love those changes, and I think those are ones that needed to happen. So Ian, thank you for doing that, you know? And Eggman's like, you know, I'm going to use it to rewrite the past. And this one he says to change my defeats. And this one he's like, I'm just going to use it to rewrite the past. Whatever, that's a dialogue change again. It didn't need to be happen. That's the same, you know, I needed it to be me. There is here where he starts laughing. There's a change here where he's just going, do I really get that? He's like, wow, they call me eccentric. He's like, in this one, he just says, wow, they call me crazy. So again, it's another dialogue change that I didn't think needed to happen. It's dumb. And this is a big change. Where he says, no one will judge us anymore after we've destroyed the Sonics forever. This one, he says, no one will judge us after I destroy Sonic forever. Right? And then here, he, of course, Classic Eggman says, you mean after we destroy Sonic? Here, they're full on in agreement in the remaster. This one showed the dissension already between them. This one, they're just in agreement. I prefer the original because it showed Eggman's such a big ego, he can't even cooperate with himself. Even working with himself, he's going to fight to be the one in control. Dude, it's yourself, and you're fighting with him. So I do like that one, and then it leads into like the funny end post-credit scene where they're like fighting with each other stuck in the white space, right? Because it is like a little teaser already to dissension. This one, they're just like, you know, friendly all the time. Which, yeah, not too fan of. And then here we go. Here's the big one. A lot of dialogue changed was made here. Between, you know, when they're all rousing Sonic. Now, this one for a lot of Knuckles dialogue was changed. I understand him. Because it's completely a new voice. Dave B. Mitchell is now voicing Knuckles, so they're adding his voice into it. And they're getting rid of Travis Willingham's voice of Knuckles. Because I think here in the original he says, you know, bash those eggheads. Here he's just like, you're tougher than that. Come on, you know? And here's the big one. Shadow's line was changed. Of course, in the original, Shadow has the incredible line of, "You've got this, Sonic." Here he goes, "On your feet." That's a better one. Okay, I don't know if that's controversial or not. I like this change that Shadow's line is "on your feet." That's more Shadow to me. Rouge's line was also changed. She says, "You're not beat yet," which again didn't need to be. So that's the same. Again, the Chaotix lines were changed slightly. They're not big changes. It's like, I don't know why you made that change. You didn't need to do that. Again, Blaze's line was changed too. She now says, "Embrace the emeralds," instead of just straight up being nice to Sonic and saying, you know, "Don't get beat." You know, like, why? Like, you don't have to do that change. That's a change, again, I don't understand. Another change I don't quite understand here, and is another change I'm going to roll my eyes at, is right here. Amy does not bash Knuckles into the tree anymore. Why not? Why did we edit this out? It's funny. She just straight up, like, you know, oh, but of course it's because of the obsessive Amy, right? Not bad. He was brilliant. Right? And you see her strength pushing Knuckles away. I love this scene. It's funny. She knocks him away. It's funny. And then they changed the dialogue between these two here, where now they're just talking about, is the timeline restored? I don't care, buddy. I like the original where they're talking about, where does Sonic put all the rings? And Tails is like, I don't actually know. Why did you cut that? It's funny. I don't give a shit. We're back at the birthday party. Yes, the timeline's restored. Shut up. I want to hear them talk nonsensical about the fact that Sonic, where does he put all the rings? Everything else is the same. It's fine. There's another change here where they don't actually show Green Hill. And in the original, they do show Green Hill, which I prefer. And they just don't show Green Hill here. And then Sonic has the line where he's like, "Enjoy your future, it's gonna be great." With the benefit of hindsight, I think we can all say that post-Generations, no, it was not great. We had to deal with Sonic Lost World and Sonic Forces and Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. This is a lie. If there's any line you're gonna change, it's this one. This is a lie. This is a full-on false prophet. How dare you? God damn it. And then this is fine. The Eggman stuff is still the same, which I'm fine with. So that's a lot of the cutscene changes made in the story, right? Just base story here. So if we go into another video by Sonic Go, where he actually has like direct comparisons to them. So there's the chemical plant. We actually can hear the Knuckles cutscene. So the original Knuckles cutscene was changed.
Thanks for the help. Not that I needed it, but it's good to have my sanctuary back.
Thanks for the help. Not that I needed it. Now let's get some payback on that monster.
Ha! Get in line, knucklehead. All right.
Now, that's not a bad change at all. I don't think that's a bad change at all. Again, I like that they actually added that Sonic talks. You know, just awkwardly standing there and then gives the thumbs up. He's actually acknowledging and talking to them. That is a much better change. And that's not a bad change at all. Right? It's really just the same thing, but Davey Mitchell says it. The big change is when Knuckles talks to Classic Sonic, which is not in this video. But in Classic Sonic's case, he says, "Oh, Sonic, thanks for saving me. Hey, did you get, chubbier?" Because obviously Classic Sonic is chubbier. And then Classic Sonic like touches his stomach like, "Oh yeah, I guess I am a bit chubby." In this new one, he just goes, "It's great to have." He goes like, "Thanks for saving me, Sonic. By the way, where's the rest of my island?" And they keep the same animation where Classic Sonic looks at his belly. Like, you made animation changes for other stupid reasons. You didn't think to change that one? Like, what? Huh? I don't understand. Oh, speaking of Rouge, they made an edit to Rouge, as everyone knows. They cut her, they added more padding to her back, so you can't see Rouge's back. Because she's, like, I guess showing too much fur, skin, whatever. Buddy, are we doing a Sonic Heroes again? And don't any of you try and defend the Rouge back change, because you are all the same people who pissed and moaned at her outfit in Sonic Heroes when Sega's like, oh, she's too revealing, we gotta cover her up. And you all pissed and moaned at that, so then Sega reverted it back. Don't you dare defend them this time. Don't you freaking dare. Here's the Amy cutscene, which I hate with every fiber of my being. And then, thankfully, by the way, they did not actually change her dialogue here. That's actually the same. So, they didn't change that dialogue, thank God. They changed the Sonic and Shadow thing here, but this change is mainly because of Shadow Generations that this was done. So this is a change I completely understand because it needed to be done for the Shadow portion. So this is a change I don't mind. And I think they actually show the Shadow Generations portion here. Yeah, I'm not going to show that. Go play Shadow Gens. But there we go. Those are just a bunch of the changes that were done, mainly in the remaster of Sonic Generations. As we stand, boys, just play the original. That's all I can say. This is sadly another remake, another remaster that has been subjected to unnecessary changes. Like, I don't know why you make half of these changes. Like, they did not need to be done. I find I've gone in nauseam about the Amy Rose changes and how dumb I think they are. They are absolutely stupid. The Rouge the Bat one is dumb as well. But again, like I said, most of the changes that were made to the remaster, bar the Amy and Rouge stuff, which is stupid, I do think is just okay and more unnecessary dialogue tweaks that, like, the original was fine and you could have just left it, but you changed it a bit. Okay, whatever. You know, and then there's changes I do agree needed to be done. Like, for example, they know the places. They actually know these places and aren't just like, oh, this place looks familiar, but I don't know what it is. They're like, oh, this is Green Hill. Oh, this is Chemical Plant. You know, like, that's a change I think needed to be made. I like the change where Sonic talks about the time stones from Sonic CD because, hey, reference, that does me good. I like the scene where they changed that you can actually see classic Eggman get taken away by the Time Eater because, again, I thought it was dumb that he's just never seen in the original. So that's a change I agree with. You know, like, there's changes there I do agree with, and then there's changes I don't agree with, because that is how it goes with pretty much every remaster, right? They're gonna make changes you agree with, they're gonna make changes you don't agree with. Okay, but that doesn't mean I hate freaking Sonic the Hedgehog or whatever, like a lot of people seem to think I do. Not at all. I don't hate Ian Flynn for the changes. I just praised him for all the lore changes he made. There's a change in Shadow Generations, by the way, which changes that Shadow boss fight. That is a freaking devious change, and I love it. I will not say what it is. Go play Shadow Generations for yourself. But what the change is a freaking devious change, buddy, that Ian made. And I adore that change so much. I was laughing so much when I saw it, and I'm like, I can't believe he did that. That is awesome. But yeah, changes I like, changes I don't like, but overall, when it comes to this Sonic X Shadow Generations, obviously play the Shadow Gens part, because I've seen nothing but peak from that. Just play Shadow Generations all the time. When it comes to wanting to play Sonic Generations, go play the OG. I know Sega just delisted it, so you can get it in the bundles on Steam, or go find a disc copy, like I did. Because I heard about the changes, and I'm like, let me get that original just in case. I'm glad I did. And you all should too. Go play the original Sonic Gens.